How you guys doing? My name is Clint Richards. My friends call me AZ. Welcome to AZ Meets the World, Volume 6 of my memoir. So in my last video, what I had talked about was that I had gotten married, I had gotten sober, and I had gotten divorced. But the one thing that I really want to touch on today is that I don't know if this is something that's unique about me or not, but maybe I'm just more vocal about it. I don't know. But what I do and how I operate is I dream, man, and I've been through a lot of traumatic experiences. I've been through a lot of hard times, and anytime I'm placed in a position where I feel like I'm backed into a corner, I'm constantly just looking at the other side and how can I turn this negative experience into a positive opportunity that's going to affect a lot of people in a positive way. How can I do that? And I get very creative and I get very motivated, and and a lot of it I feel like it's just something that I do that helps me to process through these hard times. But I've been able to put a lot of these things into action. And the biggest thing that I want to talk about is last chance intervention. And what that is okay, I was on the streets. It was pretty much the end of my marriage. It was before I went to treatment. And I had started smoking crack, and I ended up, my wife left me. She took our daughter, and I was now on the streets. My daughter wasn't quite 1 year old yet, and so I ended up being homeless with a crack addiction. And this was the first time that I ever really sought God. And I asked God, like, man, can you just provide me with some help? But the way that I viewed God intervening on my life was, what if somebody was to approach me right now and offer me the resources that I need to get out of the situation that I'm in? So that didn't happen, and I ended up getting a treatment through a different avenue, and I got sober. And a couple of years later, I started working in treatment, and when I was in treatment, I was still obsessing about this moment and this one day, this one particular day in my life that I just couldn't stop thinking about, of when I was asking God for help. So I decided, okay, what if I become the answer to that prayer? And what if I'd organize a group of people and we can go hit the streets and we can go find people that are in the position that I was in and offer them all the things that I needed that day? And that's how Last Chance Intervention was born. And when one happened is we got very popular, we got very well known, and we became a legit 501c3, a nonprofit organization, and we really focused on the West Coast. We did a lot of work in Phoenix, we did a lot of work in Albuquerque. We went through LA. We went all the way up to Seattle. We got very well known. And there's people today. Now it's 2022. We started doing this in 2012. So 10 years later, I just had a conversation with a lady named Trish. Now Trish, she's one of my clients, and she just got 9 years clean. And I mean, that's amazing. Now, I didn't do her work. She did the work to secure her sobriety, to secure her success. She did that. However, I'm proud that I orchestrated a group of people that became the catalyst for these resources in her life. And it was such a big deal. Now, we did this for about 3 years, and I mean, there was upwards of 25 to 35 people that were involved throughout the course of this organization. And I mean, we did all kinds of cool stuff, but eventually, I mean, there was no money to be made in this. Now, had I have been a grant writer, or had I found a grant writer, I'm sure we could have gotten well funded and we could probably still be doing it today, but I just couldn't figure out how to make any money doing it. And I had to support myself. So what I did is I found a couple of business partners, and we started a for-profit treatment center, and I figured, let's find a different avenue, and we can still impact people, because I love to help people, and that's what I like to do. So I started a treatment center called Practical Development in Prescott, Arizona, and we did this for a couple of years. I mean, we were very successful in the beginning. I made a lot of money doing it, and we helped a lot of people, but I lost my passion. When I stopped doing Last Chance Intervention, my passion just went out the door. It was just gone. Now it became about business, and it was no longer about meeting people at ground zero. And, I like walking the trenches. I like meeting people at their level, and that's where I can meet people. That's how I can talk. That's how I'm most effective. But you put me behind a desk, and, now I'm over here trying to figure out how to pay bills and this and that. I mean, it quickly became about something totally different than what I had anticipated. But the main thing of what I'm trying to get at, I mean, this is 10 years later now, and this is still to date my most proud accomplishment in life outside of my children, and that's something that I'm so grateful that this happened. And now I encourage anybody who's been following my story to go look at my old YouTube channel. It's under Clint Richards. You can look up Last Chance Intervention. You're going to find me. Now, there's a lot of crap on that channel. Okay, I mean, this was an old time. I no longer have access to this channel. I got, lost my passwords, all that stuff. I'm sure if I, really tried hard enough, I could figure out how to get on there, but I'm not. So unfortunately, due to some copyright issues, a lot of the material's been taken down, and we lost some of the good stuff. But there's plenty of good stuff on there, man. So if you want to go check it out, that would be cool. So what ended up happening when I had practical development is at that time, I had a relapse between Last Chance Intervention and practical development. I had a relapse in there, and that relapse had it was what it is. But I ended up getting 5 years clean, and at the end of my 5 years clean, I got some dental work done because I finally had insurance, and it was time to fix my teeth. And so I got a whole bunch of dental work done. I got a dry socket, and I started taking these meds, and these meds, I ended up fucking starting to shoot heroin again. And it was, this was years I thought I was immune. I didn't think I was ever going to go back to drugs. And that's what ended up happening. And, so I'm going to start to share, some of my really more recent bullshit and a lot of the things that I'm not proud of, but it's okay because that's part of my story, and I'm excited to share that with you guys. But, like I had mentioned at the beginning of this video, is that I'm a dreamer, and there's a lot of dreams that are still in my head, and that's a lot of the reason that I'm doing this right now is because I'm pursuing these dreams, and I'm looking for people to kind of, hear what I'm trying to do, and hopefully something's going to happen, and somebody's going to hear me, and they're going to say, look, man, we can make this happen. We can do this. Last Chance Intervention, it was badass, and we helped a lot of people, and I'm so grateful that I did that. And there's still people that are sober today. That's not just one. There's more. There's more. They're out there, and I love you guys. If you watch this, I love you. Thank you. So there we are, number 6. I thank you guys for checking me out. If you can, maybe pass my story along. Get some other people watching. I'd appreciate that. If not, those of you who are watching, thank you guys. Much respect. I love you.